Hi, welcome, 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 welcome. How's everybody doing? It's Saturday, September 6th, 2025. Everybody hear me okay? I'll assume yes. Okay, let me just do a quick check here. Just give me one sec. Nice. Well, I'm on the floor. I'm on the floor tonight. Is that weird? I don't know. I haven't quite got the desk situation figured out over here, so I'm on the floor. I think that's okay. Ed, what's up? Oh, you know, it goes. Been working on the S3 1200 stuff. Proving to be quite complicated, but hopeful that I'm gonna make a turn soon. Turn for the better. Um, but yeah, I'm still very confident in the approach that we're taking. But anyway, um, yeah, everything else has been good though. We had a bit of a windstorm, um, a couple weeks ago. Or not a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago. And we finally got around to cleaning up the fallen trees and broken branches on our trees in our yard. So that was a big job past day or so that had to unfortunately be done. So that was, yard work isn't my favorite thing in the world. In fact, yeah, it's not my favorite. But anyway, I'm on the floor and I was kind of, I'm not really feeling all that like super duper like beat inspired tonight. So I thought it would be a good chance to do something a little different, you know. Um, as the opening shot, uh, yes, exactly, exactly. It's yeah, yard work stinks. I used to have a quite a large beard, actually. If I ever, maybe I should dig up a picture one day. Used to be quite large. I mean, not like Santa Claus or anything. Um, but it was quite big. It was the style of the time. Anyway, yeah. How you been, Ed? How are things? How are things going with you? Hope everything's doing well. Um, but anyway, so I'm here. I'm here on the floor. What are we gonna do? Well, um, I've got some stuff that I need to get hooked up, and I'm not feeling in a very beat place tonight. So I thought it would be a good idea to hook up hook up some stuff, and maybe mess around, um, just making some crazy sounds and stuff. Um, do something a little different. Um, yeah, just felt like doing something a little different tonight. And I've been meaning to find time to play guitar um, more. So this is a good excuse. Uh, no, yeah, not quite ZZ Top. Not quite ZZ Top. Maybe like fixed my mix. Oh, good, good. Oh, great. That's awesome. That's great. Great to hear. Yeah, no, it was like the beard was sort of like this kind of girth. So not, um, not like offensively huge or anything, but just, some girth to it. Maybe not quite. Maybe like it covered my neck. It covered my neck. Maybe like here, you know? Anyway, it was the style at the time. Anyway, so I've got some guitars. I think I've never really talked about some of the guitars that I have, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to do that. The guitars that I have left from my collection of stuff. Um, and we'll hook up the Sun 200S, and yeah, we'll open up Ableton, and we'll make some crazy sounds and stuff. Gotcha. What nice. What guitars do you have? Yeah, I do. This guitar I bought um way back in, oh boy, this is gonna date me. Um, I think it was 96, maybe 98, somewhere there, somewhere between 96 um 96 ish, I think. It was the first run of these guitars. It's a Fender Cyclone. Fender Cyclone. I played, this was my main guitar when I was gigging a lot and playing the rock and roll. Um, yeah, it's been modified. I've put these locking Spurzl tuners on there before it was the all the rage. So these guys here put these locking tuners on here. So that was cool. What else did I do to it? Um, I had like a bone nut installed on it. This is fairly recent. Yeah, and it's got I was playing, as I was saying, I was playing in like a rock and roll kind of outfit. Um, and So I pulled out the single coil pickup because it wasn't really needed. Pulled out the three-way toggle switch and threw in a DiMarzio Super Distortion humbucker. So that was basically my guitar tone through a Fender tube amp for a good 5, 6 years while I was playing in the band. Um, just about when I was born. Ha ha ha. Yeah. 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 Thanks. Yeah, no, it's a cool guitar. It's a cool guitar, and I always wanted like a. When I was growing up, I always wanted a Mustang. Um, but even at that time, vintage Mustangs were very hard to come by, and when they were very expensive then too. And that had to do with the passing of Kurt Cobain, and I think that really drove the prices up. So Fender started doing this one, the Cyclone, which I hate the name of it, but it's a cool guitar. It's a cool guitar. It's got these body contours like a Strat. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, and I sanded it down to give it like a matte finish because I didn't like the shiny finish. Yeah, it's a cool guitar. I've had it for a long time. Long time. Yeah, so that's one that I had that I've still got. And then I've got this one. This is a late 60s uh, Gretsch Rally. It's a pretty cool guitar. Um, this is an addition that I put on there, the banjo armrest kind of thing. And then, yeah, this is just foam because it rings really weird when you play it acoustically. I had to get a complete refret done on it recently in the past couple of years, um, because the original frets were like all the way down nearly to the fretboard. So it was really strange. It was almost like playing like a fretless guitar. So I had it refretted and it looks great. That's exactly. exactly. Yeah, and this one I bought, I guess in you know what? It was during COVID because I had to drive into Toronto and pick it up, and they were allowed me the store. I remember the store allowed me to take it home, um, because I couldn't go to the actual store and try it out. So they allowed me to take it home, and they were like, if you don't like it, just bring it back. But I liked it, even though it had like crazy frets on it and stuff. And there is actually like um, in this guitar, there's like a treble boost circuit, that you like flick it on, and it does like a treble boost kind of thing. But that's been removed from this guitar, but I actually still have the original circuit, so I might actually do a whole rewire of this guitar and rebuild that circuit in maybe a video. I think that might be kind of neat. People might get a kick out of it. So yeah, I always wanted a Gretsch. I always wanted like the one of the orange ones, the double cutaway orange ones. They're usually called, I think, the Tennessean, um, or the Country Gentleman. They also call it, but I like the double cutaway. But my guitar teacher had one when I was a kid, and I always wanted one, and he always let me play it. But they were out of my price range then, and they are out of my price range now. So this was a sort of like a compromise because it's not a very sought after model, and it's quite played. It's very played. It's player's grade. There's like a crack through the neck here, like through the paint. So, and like some of the binding is coming off and stuff. So, but I don't care because I just wanted a cool guitar. So, yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, the ones, even though this one is, I think it's a 67. And if you go and you look for like even a player's grade, um, country gentleman or Tennessean of the same year, you're looking at like $10,000, $5,000 to $10,000. It's a bit, you know, it's a bit out of my price range. Um, you know, I got kids to feed, that kind of thing. So yeah, those are the two guitars that I have left, and then I have like a crappy bass that I have left too. This guy, and I just kept this one because it actually doesn't technically belong to me. It's a Squire Bronco. It's just a three-quarter size bass, and I use it sometimes. I don't use it a lot, but it actually belongs to my cousin. And he was like, "You can borrow it indefinitely." So I just obviously I'm not going to sell it on him. Um, so yeah, it's a cool little bass. Again, I think I could do some rewiring on it, and it might actually be really cool and playable as like a full on like cool bass to use for sampling and making beats and stuff. Um, oh, oh yeah, the Starcat. Yeah, yep. Okay. Yeah, I had an Epiphone SG. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I've got an acoustic upstairs too. I don't have it down here. It's like a 60s Harmony acoustic, that belonged to my mother-in-law, and she had the bridge was completely broken off um, of the guitar, and so she was like, "Why don't you take it and try and fix it up, and if you can fix it, keep it." So I did, and it's the string action is really really high on it, and I've done my best to kind of you know make it playable, but it's still not very good. So I actually I have it in like a drop tuning, an open tuning, and it is definitely a lot better. So uh, kind of, yeah, 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 kind of. Um, yeah, but I mean, even these guitars here, maybe one day if I get around to making my own guitar, I could see myself. maybe, parting ways with some stuff. I don't want to get too emotionally attached to stuff. Um, because these things are, tools, right? So, anyway, so yeah. So those are the guitars that I've left, and then the guitars that I've had, I had a what do you call it? I had a Squire Supersonic at one point. Um, that one I had for a very brief period of time, and I sold that. I also had one called a Gibson Sonex. It's like a 80s Gibson. That I was working in a studio at the time, and they couldn't really afford to pay me. So I said, well, why don't you just give me a guitar then? And they gave me a guitar. So I did a bunch of editing for them for a project, and they ended up just giving me the guitar. It was kind of It was kind of a neat guitar, but I broke the headstock off on it, and then it was never quite right after that, so I sold it to a guy who wanted a project. And then I had a Dan Electro U2, a 90s one. Um, I played that for a while. That was one that I played in the band. Um, yeah, I played that one for a while. That was kind of like because the Cyclone actually was in pieces at one point. Um, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it because the single coil was busted. Um, so yeah, so I had the Dan Electro as my backup guitar, but it ended up being my main guitar for a while. And then what else have I had? I've had like a Les Paul copy um, that I played for a while, like a 70s Les Paul copy kind of thing, like one of those like Ibanez ones. Yeah, it sucks. They never quite go back to normal. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, it's kind of like when like when you break a bone, you never really get back to normal. What else? Yeah, I've had some other guitars too. I'm just trying to think. Oh, I had a Jazz Master. I had a Jazz Master for a while. Like a Squire, just a Squire one that I bought brand new actually, which is like one of the very few guitars that I've bought brand new. This one I bought brand new. And I had an Epiphone, black Epiphone SG for a while. I bought that brand new. And then, what else did I do? Man, I had lots of guitars, I had a couple of different acoustics too, just some, nothing crazy. Just some, strummers kind of thing. But yeah, that's kind of my guitar history in a nutshell. Um, but today, I'm thinking that I want to try to make some kind of neat sounds with, um, the head back here. Get this all hooked up again, because once I'm feeling like beat making y again, I'd like to play more guitar on. I'd like to play more guitar on stuff, you know, because guitar is my first instrument. So yeah, I think it would be nice to be able to play guitar. So, anyways, let's. I guess I should show you what I'm gonna do for Ibanez. I always love the Iceman or the general X-shaped guitars like the Explorer. Yeah, those are pretty cool too. I saw. Uh, I watch a lot of like interviews and stuff with people, and I saw. I don't know if you're familiar with Dylan Carlson from Earth, the band Earth. Um, if you uh, if you so desire, there's a Red Bull Music Academy interview with him, and he plays an Epiphone Explorer in it. And ever since I saw that, I've wanted the Explorer. But I'm not in the market of buying guitars right now. So I'm in selling mode and building mode. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, so this head here is what I'm going to be hooking up. Uh, I'm on the floor. God, I'm too old. Yeah, I think I'm too old to be on the floor. But that's okay. It keeps me young. Um, but this head here is one that I bought. Yeah, he did have a crazy beard. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Um, this is a Sun 200S all tube head, typically used for bass guitar, but I am using it for guitar. And I'm a big fan of the band Sun as well. And they use the Model T. And I wanted to buy a Model T. However, if you follow the gear market on Model Ts, they are quite, quite expensive. Um, so this is my, like my Gretsch, this is my compromise. I can't remember what I paid for this, but it's a loud ass head. It's super loud. And I have small children. So I've got this that we're going to hook up to. This is a really cool box. I don't know if you have any experience using these. It's a load box. So what you're able to do is you take the speaker out that would normally go out here, and it goes into here, and it attenuates the signal. So you can crank the head at like 10, and then you can adjust the volume here, and it attenuates the signal. So you can take the either the TRS output, which is just a dry signal. So it's the signal coming from the guitar going into um, the head, right? So it's like basically like takes it like a tube preamp, and then this signal you can put out into your audio interface, and then use like a speaker emulator, and you get like like a half stack kind of sound in Ableton. Or what you can do too is you can use there's a built-in speaker emulation into this thing. It's just like I don't know how they do it. It's a mystery to me. I'm guessing some sort of like transformer or something. Um, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So we're gonna hook that guy up, and then we're gonna mess fart around with it in Ableton, hook up one of the guitars, and see what it sounds like. And see if we can just get some like wacky ass sounds out of it. Because I'm not in a very beat making place tonight. So, but I still want to be productive, you know? I feel like it's important to be productive. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to move myself out of the way here. Um, and and I'll give you the little nickel tour of how we're going to hook it up. Okay? So, I might have to it's going to be a little shaky again. I still have to work out my camera situation because right now I'm still using my phone. So, um, yeah. So I'm just gonna move this guy back a bit, and so you guys can see the all the controls here, and I'll kind of try to walk through it. So you've got like you got a high and low boost on here, and then we've got a volume, just straight up volume, and then treble and bass controls. That's it. It's like a super basic tube head. It doesn't really get much more basic than this, which for me, I like not making a lot of decisions. I don't like having too many controls, so this is great. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, sometimes you just got to roll with it and um just find a way to be creative. Sometimes it's, for sample-based people like us, right? Sometimes it's even like we were talking about before, it's like you watch old movies and you might hear a sound that inspires you to make a beat or something, or maybe a line, you know. So you just try to weave it into everything that you do, right? That's how I find like I'm the most productive. So, anyways, um, so I've got a bunch of cables here. I think what I'm gonna do for the sake of this video, I think I'm just gonna do. Um, I think I might try the line output on this thing, um, because I'm not sure um, exactly. Also, is there a difference between high low? You know what? That's a great question, and it's been a minute since I've had this thing fired up. Um, I think it's a boost on the existing treble or the existing bass. Um, but don't quote me on that. We'll mess around with that when we get it hooked up. Because honestly, like I said, it's been a while since I've had it hooked up, and um, yeah, I forget. Um, because like I bought this head maybe 2 years ago, and in those past 2 years, like um, yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. So I haven't had a ton of time to mess around with it, but I have enjoyed what I've done so far with it. And yeah, so I'm going to flip the head around so you can see what's around back, see the connections around back, and then we'll hook up the load box. Just give me 1 sec. All right. Oh my God, this thing's heavy. Okay. Whoop. Right. So there's the tubes, and just disconnect this. So it's like I said, it's a basic amp. It's got a couple tubes in it. Yeah, that's about it. And then you can hook up a 16 ohm speaker or an 8 ohm speaker. And our load box is rated for 16 ohms. So I'm gonna hook up the so I'm gonna hook it up to the 16 ohm slot. But if I really wanted to, I could hook up two cabs to it. So that's pretty neat. Um, I would like to get a cab for this at some point, because the cab that I have here is a 4 ohm cab, and I'm a little bit leery about hooking that up to this guy. Um, so yeah, but look at the size of this transformer here. Look at the size of this thing. Thing's huge. Let me see if I can get a good shot. Isn't that crazy? How big that thing is? That's awesome. Anyway, uh, well, uh, kind of. Yeah, kind of. Um, how would I describe it? Um, yeah. Let me get back to you on that one. Um, I need a chance to think that answer through, about the speakers as giant resistors. I need to think that through. I don't want to feed you false information. I don't want to give you false information, or just like off the cuff, because those kinds of technical questions I like to think them through before I answer them. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I worry about just like even in like my videos, like when if I explain something incorrectly or, you know, I just don't want to be the guy spreading false information or maybe I didn't quite get it right, you know. Um, yeah, I like to think them through first, this kind of thing. You know what I mean? But anyway, so let's get this thing hooked up and then we'll fire it up and plug in a guitar, bust out Ableton, you know, see if we can make some cool sounds. I've got my pedal board here too, but I don't have all my pedals. I can get some of my pedals too, so I can show you some of those too. But a lot of the pedals I'll be selling. All right. So I've got my just plugged in my head to the wall, and then this guy's just gonna sit on top. And yeah, what's it again? And I want to go into the 16 ohm. There we go. Okay, so we're into the 16 ohm um, line. Okay. And then I can't remember if this thing takes power or not, or if it only takes power for the speaker emulation. I think we'll find out. We'll find out. Okay, so I'm gonna just turn on the amp and let it warm up. Let this guy warm up. And in the meantime, I'm going to get. Uh, I'll show you just the super basic um, pedal board I got going on right now. Uh, yeah, yeah. I've got. Well, I haven't got a ton of pedals under my belt. Um, I did. I have fixed a lot of pedals. That's what kind of got me into electronics in the first place was fixing pedals. I remember I traded a guy a 6 pack of beer, and he gave me um, like some like DOD distortion pedal. He gave me a Line 6 DL4. Um, what else did he give me? Maybe a looper, like a Ditto looper. And I think that's it. I think that's it. But he gave it to me for literally a six pack of beer, like a six tall cans of beer, and they were all busted. They were all of them were busted, and I cracked them all open, not knowing it like zero and nothing, and somehow I can't remember. I somehow figured out what was wrong with them. Um, the The distortion pedal, I remember it had like a broken push button, so I figured out a way how to like desolder and and I think I must have watched a YouTube video or something. Yes, yes, yes. And I replaced the push button and that fixed that, and then I ended up selling that distortion pedal. And then the DL4, I was able to bring it back to life. I cleaned it like pretty intensely, and I don't know, something must have set it off correctly. Um, and it started working, and then I sold that. And then the Ditto looper, I think it was just like a power supply connection that was busted. But it was like, it was a couple $100 worth of pedals, and I gave him a 6 pack of beer. It was awesome. But yeah, that's what got me started doing this whole stuff. That's what got me thinking about like, you know, going back to school and stuff like that. But this pedal is one that I've made on the channel. This one, let me zoom in a bit so you can see it. I'll make myself a bit bigger here. But this is the one that I did on the channel. This is the Baz Fuss. It's just like a straight up, super simple distortion pedal. Really, really simple circuit. Um, yeah, it's just got a volume knob on it. It's either fully on and distortion or fully off. And yeah, so that's the only homemade pedal that I have on my pedal board at the moment. So it's a pretty cool pedal. It's super easy to build. You could build it like literally, um, you could literally build it in like 20 minutes. It's super simple. Um, in the video that I did for it, there's a link in the description to an article that lays out exactly how to build the pedal, and different kind of like iterations of the pedal that you can try. I've This is the very first this is the very first circuit in that article, and it's really easy to build. And I was hoping this summer to do the rest of the circuits in the article and kind of like compare them all. But yeah, I never got, I never got to it. But I'd really like to get there eventually. Maybe if I need a break one week, like on an in between week of the S3 1200, maybe I'll build one of these for fun. And then the other pedal I have on here is just a tuner, just a tuner, straight up Polytune. I'd like to build a tuner as well at some point, but it's a tuner. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna hook up those two pedals. I do have other pedals here too. Give me one sec. I'll show you. This is I've got a couple. I've got I don't know where I put them. I'll have to go looking for it. But I've got a Digitech Whammy over there, and I've got the first version of the Sun Life pedal from Earthquaker Devices. Um, that one I paid way too much money for, and then I got a Earthquaker Dispatch Master, and I've got what else? The a crappy like Behringer delay, um, and that the MXR compressor. What's it called? Oh, shit, I can't remember the name of it right now. Um, Dynacomp, Dynacomp. That's what it is. And I've got that, and then I've got this guy. This guy's pretty neat. I don't know if you've ever seen this one floating around. It's pretty cool. It's like infinite sustain. So yeah, you play a note, you hold that down like a piano pedal, and it will sustain for as long as your heart desires. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And there's like a foot switch that comes with it that like you can split the signal that I have over there. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But there's a thing that you can do that you can split the signal. I've got it over there too. But it's just like a little um, foot switch that attaches to this, and then you can send the sustained signal to a separate amp completely, and then you can have the clean signal going to another amp. So you can get a really cool balance of tones. Like, I think it would be wicked to have this pedal hooked up with like the sun doing a portion of it, and then having this solid state head amp that I have back here, half stack. I think that would be really cool to split the two, and then have and see how crazy it could get. Maybe one day, but yeah. Yeah, you can rip all the Santana you could want with this pedal, or whatever. Maybe create ambient soundscapes. So I think we could make something like this, though. To be honest with you, I was, like based on the even the first sampler that I made, like it's not that far off from this. You know what I mean? Because what this does is it takes like um it's only sampling like a small fraction of the guitar signal. So it's not like what's the way I would put it? So it's not like you're getting like a fully looped section. Like even if you engage the looper, like if you engage the sustain as you're switching notes, you'll barely get that that like that sound of like you actually switching notes. It would uh it would be just kind of like odd sounding. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Nice. Sure. That'd be hilarious. So yeah. But yeah, I think we could build something like that because it's so tiny. The sound sample that you're grabbing is so small, So something to think about, you know? It'd be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool to pull off something like this. But down the road, we got to get that sampler done first. So we have some sweet beats to play on top of, right? But all right, let's what are we gonna do? We're gonna hook up this. Um, we'll get the line out. We'll get the dry out coming out of here, and then we'll go. I have my audio interface ready to go. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Baby steps. I really want to get that sampler uh, done because I need like a full on. We need like a workstation kind of thing. So, because then that means we can use Ableton even less than I use it already. You know, living the dream, living the dream. So, I'm just hooking up my pedal again, and then yeah, I think I'm gonna use the Fender, the Cyclone tonight because the Gretsch. I remember it's been so long since I've had it actually like plugged in to an amp. Um, I'm pretty sure I was having electrical issues with it. So I'm gonna leave it for tonight. But we are gonna get the fender hooked up. So, and then yeah, I think I can move this because we're gonna switch over to Ableton at some point because I'm not gonna really be fiddling with the controls. There's not many controls here. It'll be fiddling with the controls in Ableton, right? So, all right. And then, yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly how I'm thinking of it. And I think it's the most, I've been hemming and hawing about how to do the project, and I really do feel like it's probably the smartest way that we can do it. Um, uh, yeah. And I think it's just going to make the build and the explanation of the build and all that stuff like that much clearer for everybody involved. You know what I mean? And that's really important because I want, it's not just that I want to understand how it works. I want everybody else to understand how it works too, right? And taking and doing these like little chunks at a time, it's going to make it so much easier, right? All right. I'm just going to plug my pedal board in here. Do you get a butt shot there? Okay. All right. All right, sweet. Um, you know what? Let's try actually, you know what? Let's try with the I think we can give it a shot with the speaker emulation on here. I'm gonna give it a shot. See what it sounds like. So I'm pretty sure it needs power. I know there's a part of this that is passive, but part of it needs power, and I think it's the speaker emulation part of it. So I just gave it some power, just like really low, just 9 volts kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, like this whole that whole project is going to be crazy. It's going to be really crazy. I'm super excited to do it. I've never really tried to really build like something that complex before in my life. So, you know, like I've done some complex stuff, I guess, but nothing like where it's there's so many moving parts to to that to that build, right? Which is great. Which is great. We're gonna learn a ton. We're all gonna learn a ton. I'm super excited. All right. Now, okay, so I got my that guy's plugged in. So I'm going from the speaker emulation out into the line in of the line in of the 404. Does that make sense? Well, let's see. You know what? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. Um, but I don't think I'll damage it. So let me turn that off. Okay. Oh, right. I'm gonna have to. Shit. Okay. Well, you know what? Who cares? We'll just go side by side. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. I can just move it off the screen a little bit so I can still see what you're saying. Might not look the greatest, but whatever. Who cares? Let me make myself smaller here. Okay. Zoop. All right. And we'll try to make this look. I might just have to click back and forth. You know what I mean? No big deal. All right, let's get a guitar plugged in and go from there. See, make sure that we actually have sound, right? All right, 1 sec. I need a 1/4 inch cable. Got that guy hooked up. Okay. Okay. We'll do this guy. Okay. And then just gonna switch over there. I think I have cable in here. Here we go. Okay. I really got to hang up my cables. I've got these cable hangers, and I don't know why, but I don't have cables that I actually use hung up. Go figure. All right. So, I don't have a pick, do I? Of course I don't. Why would I have a pick? Okay. All right. All right. Let's see here. I'm just going to tune up real quick. All right. I'm going to have to put my headphones on too because, yeah, I just need them. All right. And then I think I want to go Mac OS screen capture. And if I turn this off, I've got to put standby on. Um, Wait a sec here. Um, oh, probably turn the volume up on the amp, right? You need volume. There we go. One sec. Okay. Okay, so that's like the volume's like cranked on the. Can you hear that, Ed? Okay, so that is that sound right there is just going. So it's got a little bit of juice to it, right? Like I've got it cranked. So we're actually overdriving the tubes a little bit, right? Like that. You know how it's not like super clear? Okay. So, and I've got both of the boosts on. So I'm going to turn everything off. So I got no, right now I have no low boost on. I have no high boost on. And I've got treble and bass all the way down to 0. And I'm not playing with a pick, I'm playing with my fingers too. So, okay. So let me back it off a little bit. I'll back it off to like 5 maybe. Maybe I'll, one sec. Oh. Okay. And then let's see what it sounds like if I put some treble on it. Let's crank it up to 10. So that's no bass, all treble. I'm getting a little bit of clipping, eh? Let me turn it down a little bit. So that's 10. This is 0. So that's a huge difference, right? Got a little bit of a dirty pot, too. Now let's engage the high boost and see what it sounds like. Whoa! Whoa! That is boosty. I'm going to play with the level a bit. That is some trebly shit. I feel like I need a... All my stuff's dirty, man. Everything's so dirty. It's been sitting too long. Hear that? Sheesh. Okay. Now let's put some bass. Here's bass at 10. Here's the bass boost. It's a lot of bass. Right. All right, let's split the difference here. We'll go down to maybe 4. And we'll put our treble back up to like, I don't know, 7. I wonder if there's like a... Okay. Sounds pretty cool. It's definitely like high gain kind of thing. Well, I mean, trebly, not high gain. Speaking of high gain, let's try the distortion, the Baz Fuss. That's crazy. I'm getting a lot of dirt out of this pot. I'm definitely clipping on the SP404. It's very tricky. All right. Crazy. Let's I'm gonna see if I can, I don't know. Maybe let's just see if I can get some like, I don't know. Let's just try and get some like atmospheric shit going or something. I'm just gonna try turning off my microphone and seeing if that improves the clipping at all. Yeah, let me try something here because the 404, I don't know, it's like not the best sometimes for this stuff. Really regretting selling my interface. Man, Is there a way to input? I think I want to go input settings, and then maybe I want to input effects. No. Oh, wait a second. Shift level. Still break. It's still hear that breaking up. Let's hear. Let's mess around with some effects. Maybe that'll. Hmm. What is that? I wonder if that has to do with the live stream. Well, that might be the. Interesting. You know what? Let me try the Gretsch. I know it has a lower output than this guy. These super distortion humbuckers and that I put on this thing, it's like super. The output's like super loud, regardless of where you have it uh, on the thing. Let's just plug in the Gretsch and see. And if it sounds like shit, then we'll just call it a night. Just tune it up real quick. It's a little sharp because it's I have a capo on it. Come on, come on. Huh. Well, there you have it. Cassette simulator. And let's put a bit crusher. Oh boy. Cloud delay. Neat. What does it sound like with distortion? Wow. Really gives her, eh? Anyway. Cool. Cool. The Gretsch actually sounds better than the Fender. Who would have thought? Who would have thought a late 60s Gretsch would match up with a late 60s Sun? There you go. Anyway, well, still making some weird glitches and sounds and stuff, and I wonder if it's like the OBS or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Some of this shit, I'm still figuring it out. Anyway, well, I've had some fun. We've had a nice chat. Thanks for coming as always. Appreciate it. And I think I'm gonna head. I think I'm gonna head out. So anyways, thanks again for coming, Ed. Appreciate it. Always, as always, thanks for chatting with me and whatnot. Always makes the live streams that much more enjoyable when I have a friendly person to talk to. I really appreciate it. Anyhow, well, hope you have a great night, and I will see you next week at some point. And if I don't know if you're off for your trip, but if you're off for your trip, have a great trip and whatnot. If not, I'll see you next week. All right. Take it easy, buddy.